Welcome to the Building Texas show. We're coming to you from the Midland-Odessa region, and we're specifically at the University of Texas Permian Basin at their Center for Engineering and Economic Development, which is a fun partnership there. That's really located right between Midland and Odessa. It's a great city center for the two cities. But Renee, you've joined us. Renee Earls has joined us from the Odessa Chamber of Commerce, which does so much locally. But tell us about Odessa. Like what is happening in Odessa, Texas today?
A lot of opportunity in Odessa.
I love it.
So happy that you're here to hear about our community and learn about where we've been, where we're headed. Incredible community. I'm born and raised and would not live anywhere else. So I'm quite proud of my community. We are, our community will celebrate 100 years coming up in a couple of years, our city.
Yeah.
And, we were started when people stopped off here on the railroad and they looked around and thought, well, this looks like Odessa, Ukraine. We're going to name it Odessa. So here we are 100 plus years later, and we're right in the heart of the oil industry. And we have a lot of, if you will.
Yeah.
A lot of roll up your sleeves, get the work done, great work ethic, great people. Since you've been here, you might see that we don't actually, people don't live here for the aesthetics, so to speak, but they live here because the people are incredible.
But and I've heard that repeatedly now, that it's the people, but it's really the workforce. You have a tremendous workforce that is ready to work. And I don't know that I can always say that everywhere I go.
I think that there's great opportunity for people here to really do well. They can make a very good living in a variety of industries. Although oil and gas energy is certainly our main economic driver. And we say, we're all in the oil business, whether you work at a chamber or if you work in a restaurant or you sell cars or you work on an oil rig, we're all in the oil business.
We
here.
bust and boom together. That's what I was trying to say.
Yes. But yes, we have a great, as I mentioned, a work ethic like no other. And I think, out here in West Texas, we're out on our own. Our population of West Texas is not as great as it is in other, in East Texas, Central Texas, South Texas. But we have the resource that fuels the world.
Right.
And I think that gives us a lot of pride and power. And we often get overlooked. And we're here to remind people that without West Texas, you wouldn't be able to turn your lights on and get in your car and drive and basically use everything that's sitting in your home and your office. So we're a pretty important part of the economy.
I know it, and an innovative part of the economy. I have seen, there's a company out here called Kodiak that's driving a self-propelled truck through the Permian Basin. And what's nice about that is it's just innovation at work, whether it's oil and gas related or quality of life related. You're finding a lot of innovation showing up in Odessa and really saying, how do we make this great?
Well, I think that just comes from having to work hard for what we have and appreciating what we have. And we have some incredibly smart people out here who, whether educated or not, they've just figured out a way to make things happen.
Yeah.
And we're very fortunate. We're sitting on the campus of UTPB, part of the UT system. We have incredible junior college here, Odessa College. Midland, of course, has Midland College. So we have educational institutions that offer so much opportunity for, students who are either looking at their first career or maybe someone who's been in a career and is wanting to just get retrained or start fresh with something different. We also have Texas Tech University Health Science Center has a campus in Odessa, the Permian Basin campus. So we have a lot of opportunity. And I think, when you face tough times with booms and busts, you figure out a way to make things happen. And that's an average Odessan.
Yeah. And if you're looking to get out of the triangle a little bit, the Texas Triangle, I would encourage people to look out here and say, it is a great place to build a skill set, to restart a career, to go to medical school. 36, 40 residents a year going through there. That's incredible.
Yes.
And people don't know that it's happening here. So how do we make it more visible? What makes it more visible to the average Texan?
I think, it's funny you say that because in Texas, a lot of people say, well, where are you from? Well, West Texas, Odessa, Texas. Oh, I've never been there. Or I've driven through there, but I've never stopped. Give us an opportunity. Find out what we're all about. Check us out. come out here, live a few days with us. It's a little bit more slower paced lifestyle probably than people are used to in Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston. I don't know how anyone would want to have an hour commute to work. I have a 10-minute commute to
Yeah.
work. I have a 10-minute commute to the airport, which flies anywhere you want to
A
go.
lot of places.
So we really, we say that we're really centrally located. We are 4 hours if you want to go snow skiing, a couple of hours if you want to go water skiing.
Yeah.
We've got an incredible national park 2 to 3 hours away. So we have so much here to offer. And we would encourage people, if they're looking for an opportunity, come check us out.
Well, I appreciate that about the spirit of Odessa and what we can do out here. What is it beyond oil and gas that you're seeing add to the quality of life? And from a chamber perspective, I think of chambers as really the advocate for small business, the advocate for the startups that might be coming. But you're a chamber that also has economic development responsibility and CVB,
Yes.
so Convention Visitor Bureau, all rolled into one, which I love because those have to collaborate to be successful.
Absolutely. Well, and in fact, it makes it really great for all of us to be able to collaborate and to have synergy under one roof. I think many chambers started out that way many years ago, and for whatever reason, one or two of them have dropped off, and maybe they've gone under another entity. But we have fought hard to keep us all together because we know the benefit of working together. We all have the overall mission of growing our community. We're just doing different things to get there.
Yeah.
Tourism is
Same
focusing
goal.
on bringing in the tourist, whether it's someone coming in for business or someone, really coming as a traditional tourist, someone coming for sporting events. Economic development is working on the businesses, not only who are here that can expand, but also new businesses to come into the area. And then the operations side, the membership side of it is working with the current businesses. And as you mentioned, the majority of our chamber members are small business.
Yeah.
So I think, again, there's just an opportunity for people to really get involved here. I think it's unique that we can bring the right people to the table, whether it has to do with tourism, economic development, or quality of life issues or small business issues. We can bring the right people to the table to really make decisions. And I think it's important in a community to be able to pick up the phone and call the person who you need to speak with, whether it's the president of the university, president of the junior college, the mayor. We have those relationships, and at the end of the day, that's what everything is built on, is a relationship. And we're fortunate out here to really work well together and to move our communities forward.
I'm amazed when I find business owners that aren't a member of their chamber or aren't participating civically, because I've seen so many stories. I heard stories today where someone from your team is sitting in a conference room with a business and they say, "Oh, I have this problem. I wish we could solve this problem." And your team says, "Well, we have this college over here, Odessa College, that can solve that problem for you." And I just appreciate the civic responsibility of making that bridge and ensuring that we are developing a great workforce right out of college. That those kids, students are seeing the opportunity, but the employers are also seeing the students that are here. They're not saying, "Oh, where are they?"
Absolutely.
They're right here.
We have to grow our own. Statistics show that we will need, we'll have roughly 200,000 new jobs by 2040. Well, in order to get all those work spots filled, we not only have to keep what we have and bring others in. And, being born and raised here, I said, I'm going to graduate from high school, I'm going to go to college, and I'm never coming back here, and I'm going to the big city. Well, I did come back here. I had an internship. I came back here. I started my career, and I realized that, I like it in my community, so I want to stay here. And I enjoy going out to wherever we are and running into people I know and being able to have relationships and make a difference. And I think in this community, you can absolutely do that.
Well, where can people learn about Odessa? Where would you send them to find all of these possibilities and opportunities?
So, of course, our website, through the OdessaChamber.com, we can hook you up, whether you're wanting to find a restaurant in town or a physician or a bank. We have our members there. But then we also, because the chamber is all three departments, we also have a connection to economic development. They give out financial incentives to companies who are looking to either expand or come here. Or if you're bringing in a reunion group, or you're looking for, your family coming in, and you
Weddings
need to
coming to town.
organize an event, then let our tourism department help you with that. Again, if we can't find the answer for you, or if we don't have it under our one roof, then we're going to help you find the answer. That's what we're here to help with, is really to be the connector and make it as seamless as possible.
Well, Renee, thank you so much for spending time with us today and having us in your community to talk about and just celebrate the work that you're doing and the way that you're building Texas.
Well, thank you for coming. We're very proud. We think we're in the best city in the country. We welcome anyone to come join us and be really part of the opportunity and the wonderful future that we have.